Got ourselves Hockey Shadow. I'm gonna have a hard time with your name. That's just how it's gonna be. I like your mug though. Oh, looks so good. Oh no, that helm actually matches. Look at him. He's like a toxic boy. He's got a toxic backpack, toxic armor, toxic shoulders, of big old green weapons. Even a tabard that kind of sort of matches this rest of the mug. I love the way it looks. Got ourselves blood over on the other team, skulking around searching for the other rogue. Over on team 2, we got ourselves Austin. We got ourselves Delete You with Rosie as well as Top G back in action. Those two rogues are still looking for each other. Parasite over on the team 2, team 1 ready to go with Bart, as well as Tira in the back. And then we also got Chicago. I like this mog too. That actually looks so good with the red drawn eye. That looks incredible. Some of you guys' mogs look so good, even if you don't win the duel. Or maybe you guys do win. But even if you don't, your mogs are absolutely on point. If this was a transmog competition, it would be the victor of my books. Blind immediately onto blood as Hawkins does end up committing a trinket. Needs to get himself a big go. Kidney shot gonna be short. Big Gormo's bite out of blood though. Hawkins needs to maximize the damage. Cloaker shot is for the both of them. Did he use a death mark? If he didn't use death mark, that actually is huge. Trying to see if he can find a nice guy in the open. Cannot find him. Does get him dotted though at the very least. Should be able to have a go blind right after. Hawkins needs to get himself a proper go at some point, but I think blood may just have him. Kidney shot, full secret technique. Another Gormo's right there. Use both vanishes. Got himself full flagellation. There goes the death mark. This is where Hawkins needs to maximize the damage. I don't know if he's got evasion available or not. But blood is melting little by little. If Hawkins gonna get back in there, get another shiv, let the dots roll for a little bit longer. If you got evasion, you might want to get super aggressive. Blood getting in there, cheap shot right after. Hawkins needs to maximize all the damage. He actually got himself so much potential power right now. Blood is melting. Hawkins is super low too. Blood trying to see if he can take him down. Both rogues are gonna be very low. Cheat death into Hawkins. Most likely down. Hold on a second, wait. I think he's just dead. Unless, hold on. Chicago waiting out. Chicago rooted him, but I don't think he flame shocked him. I think he just let the rogue take it, let the rogue have it. He's just like, oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna keep you out in the open. Let the dots rot ya. At least made sure that Hockey's hopefully gets at least one shot, gets at least one kill in the books. That was really good, dude. Assassination rogues, I feel like more of you guys should give them a go. They're so deadly. Like if you just get a full death mark rolling, all the dots, all the bleeds, everything, there's just nothing the other guy can do. It's just, they're just dead. Nothing they can do. Big zaps out of Chicago, trying to see if he can keep Delete the warrior away from him. This gonna, I think it caught in a totem. I think that's why he had to run back to it. That or he gotta like boot back in. Last him, breaks out of it. Stun Chicago with a fear to follow him. That's gonna be Delete. Mad damage to Chicago. Having to go for a wall as well as a guardian or to maximize damage. Big burst damage to reverse back onto Delete. The harder you hit him, the more survivability you're gonna get yourself with that guardian rolling in. As the warrior charges in, he's got himself in rage regen for a little bit longer, trying to keep the pressure rolling on our Shaman homie. As the stun comes out, he got plenty of damage. Chicago unable to create space, trying to do the very best to create as much space away from Delete as possible. Is that totem going to root you? Totem looks at him for a second, doesn't go for the root. That is super unfortunate, unless that was a tremor. I don't think it was. Chicago able to at least recover some health. There goes the root as Delici goes in for some damage, but unable to maximize the pressure whatsoever. He got CDs coming up, back up in about 30. Short stun on Chicago as they got Raptors joining back in. There goes a lot of damage. Chicago not feeling all that good. At least able to go with a lasso back away from Delici, trying to see if he can keep him in place. Does knock him away with that totem. Delici focusing on totem as soon as he possible. And we are pretty low into dampening right now, so Delici is able to get himself a lot of healing, but so is Chicago, and is able to completely top himself off. But Delici, the longer he keeps in combat with Chicago, the better he's going to be. He got great sustained damage, great self-survivability, lots of healing opportunity, and Delici taking a lot of damage, but trying to go for a fear. If he gets himself an impending victory, does get one, but big damage out of Chicago's Thunder right after trying to go for the knock, but the charge does counter. No! I think that was a bleed from Delici trying to see if he can get away from Barth. Does eat a kill shot. If he can somehow stay away from the hunter, get second one rolling in, maybe he'll be okay. There's just no way. As Barth goes in for a full rapid fire, doesn't want to give the man an opportunity at all. It looks like he is dotted by something. So Rosie maybe can either go in for a camo and get a proper opener, that or just send the pet, charge in, disengage around the corner, is going to send the pet over into Barth. Barth, I feel like at this point, might as well just start blasting the pet. You know what I mean? Because if anything, you can at least deny Rosie a stun. Could go with a stun around the corner. I think he's aware of Freezing Trap around the corner. Rosie wants to go for a proper stun, Trinket out of Parth. Binding Shot is going to get you super stunned up if you're not careful. Feign Death for just a second. Trying not to move too far. Disarm from a distance. Turtle Shot to full as he goes in for a big explosive together with a Death Tracker of his own. Manic Bandages as he also goes in for Turtle. Both hunters are attacking each other from range, even though one of them is survival. But Survival Hunt is actually doing so much more damage from a distance, as Parth, not feeling all that good, does go for Exile Stun around the corner. Rosie wants to maximize the damage. Coordinated assault by him in the pet with the Scatter. Rapid fire out of Parth. Not a lot of health available. I don't know how he's going to be able to get out of this situation. Try to go for a knockback into Rosie as he's going to weave back towards the pillar. Kill shot right through the heart. Backs up out of there completely. With Tyr gonna be up next over from the team 1. Fan nice to get Rosie out in the open with a cheap shot. Rosie with a Trinket. Binding Shot onto Tyr. Forcing a Trinket out of him. Could maybe go for a freezing. This way you want to go for a Manic Bandage if you can remove the dots. Goes in for a heal. Manic Bandage may need to come out right now. Got himself defenses. Disarm onto Tyr. Blind does remove his own sepsis. This way you need a freezing trap to stop the rogue for a second. Unless you just go in aggressive. I think you just decided to go in with as much aggression as humanly possible. Top G. This is going to be next over for the team 2. Given Tyr as much of an opportunity to go for an honor duel, and Tyr at least given a chance here to recuperate some of his cooldowns. He doesn't have Shadow Blades, he doesn't have Cloak for a bit, he doesn't have a Trinket for a while. So Top G, I think, is in as good of a spot as it could be versus Rogue. Normally, under most conditions, I think a Rogue would just win versus a Fury Warrior, but right now with Top G, I think he's going to be in a great spot. Stun onto Tyr, does not want to let him out of his sight. Evasion actually does allow him to avoid a lot of the damage. Haymaker for a second, knocking the Rogue down. It's going to be Cheap Shot Trinket out of Top G. I don't really know if you needed to Trinket it, but maybe felt like he should probably stay as aggressive as humanly possible. Disarm, skipping the Rogue slowed at least real quickly. Charge right afterwards, got him to reflect. Tyr tried to see if he could back up out of this, still slowed. And I wonder if there's any kind of dots on him. No, he's actually clean. So for Top G, I guess the question is there a Rupture rolling on him? Because here, if he left Top G without a Rupture, second one is just going to help him get back up to speed. Looks like he's trying to see if he can go for a Shadow Step around the guy, but does get knocked out of stealth, immediately stunned right after. Gouge to follow. Does not have a Zerkus for this one. Does Tyr have himself a proper go? He has a cheap shot. Does he have enough damage? Big sepsis, potentially could be a lot of setup. Stun to follow with a secret technique. Big defensive for Top G. Try to go for a stun, does not connect. Cloaker shot is for Tyr. Got himself that evasion, so he might actually be kind of okay. Top G able to recover himself last second with a rallying cry right after. Tyr still has a sepsis roll on Top G. Having to go for a blind as he is not feeling super confident. Losing out on this match right now. Top G getting himself that second win to heal him a little. 39% damage, but he goes in for the Shadow Strike just to make sure that second win does not let him get fully recovered. Tyr at no health whatsoever. Gouge on Top G, goes in for it to execute. Cheat Death last second. Kidney Shot to follow. Unless this Rogue has an answer here. He got himself Vanish coming back up very, very soon. Vanish last second. Unless he's got a dot. I think he's actually clean. I think he actually escaped clean. I don't think he could fight Top G at this moment unless he's got everything available. I don't know what his situation is on evasion. It says evasion is up for him, but I think that's just a fib. I don't think that's real. I think ever since this season specifically, evasion for Assassination and Subtlety doesn't track properly. I think it's kind of like the Outlaw evasion. Even though they do have a proper 2-minute cooldown, there's no cooldown reduction mechanic for it. Something with the towns that they changed up now makes it impossible for it to track. So it looks like he has it, but I don't think he does. Otherwise, he would be pressing it. He does press it here. Stun right after for Top G off of that fear, trying to see if he can maybe maximize some damage. He just needs a little bit of that non-evasion defensive. There goes evasion. It's not on cooldown, but it's up. Goes in for a slam, taking him out. Next up is going to be Parasite. He doesn't want to give Parasite too much of like a, too much of an honor duel there. He wanted to go in, I think, maybe to get himself that impending victory, to get himself that heal, but bad. My God, Blaster! Parasite doesn't give him a chance, and Austin is going to be up next. Both of them more or less have most of the cooldowns available. Parasite is just down on that Soul Cleave, or Soul Essence Break. I think it's Essence Break. Mad damage on the Parasite. Touch the Magic. Wants to be very, very careful with it. Austin got himself a bit of a reposition opportunity here with the ult time. Able to also recover a lot of health back. Parasite taking huge hits between the fire. I think he took the fire damage from the Ring of Fire, as well as the Touch the Magi damage. Big sigil of arcane damage onto Austin. Able to go for a little bit of a disengage. Try to see if he can avoid CC. Breath of Fire does on him as he lands on the ground. Goes in for a poly. Does go for the interrupt onto the arcane, forcing a lot of pressure onto Austin. He is having to go for a bit of an ice block. Parasite at least able to force a bit of a reset versus him and the mage. For Parasite, you're just collecting back cooldowns little by little. Vengeful Retreat, Essence Break, Trinket, sigils. I think it still has metamorphosis available, and he still has plenty of defenses to work with here, trying to see if he can get ahead of Austin as best as possible, using the immunity to CC to pressure him as much as humanly possible. Big stun, I think he just has him right here. Oh my. That is a lot of damage. That is a ton. He actually brought it back. I'm surprised. I honestly thought it was going to be a little bit more of a longer match, but no, as soon as he's got himself the Vengeful stays up in the air, it does as much damage while midair. Stewart can't counter it. He can't do anything about it. He can't CC it. He can't stop it. He has to wait until he lands, but he's just doing all this damage while midair. It's actually kind of nuts. Oh my god.